Well, hello there. Welcome to my channel. This video is about our former Health Secretary and aspiring Prime Minister, Wes Streeting. My goal is to show you why you should be skeptical of the man and his blatant ambitions to be Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. If you like what you hear, please consider a sub and a like. If you disagree, leave a comment down below. I always respond. And with that out of the way, let's begin.
Alrighty then.
So it seems that the Labour Party psychodrama is now in full swing, as on the 14th of May, Wes Streeting resigned from his position as the Health Secretary with a scathing letter to Keir Starmer, which also humbly brags about his supposed accomplishments during his tenure as a member of his cabinet. By all indications, the self-made man from the council estate in East London will be issuing a leadership challenge in the coming days to stake his claim on why he should be the new Labour Party leader. Now take a good look at Streeting. Don't you just love that baby-faced cheek of his? It screams honesty, I swear. But before we get too excited, maybe we should hold our horses, for if the story of Troy taught us anything, is that the Trojans should have done a thorough inspection of the gift horse from the Greeks. A lot of tragedy could have been prevented that way. After Labour MPs started hearing the tolling bells of the Grim Reaper on their political careers post the local elections, most seem to think that the party needs new leadership. And full disclosure here, I'm in agreement with them on this one. But you see, Wes Jr. Starmer Streeting is not the golden ticket solution that these clearly panicked MPs might be looking for. I would argue that it's more of a case of a rotten vendor sandwich that is guaranteed to make you intimately acquainted with your toilet bowl. And as always, feel free to mark my words on this, that Wes Streeting is potentially more dangerous than Keir Starmer. And the Labour Party's collective hysteria to crown him is a dangerous play. If I were a chicken farmer and insisted on hiring a weasel as security for my coop, I would not later be wondering why entire flocks of my animals are seemingly choosing to vacation in heaven. So who actually is Wes Streeting, you ask? Well then, let me tell you. Wes Streeting is what you get when you put killer instincts in a business suit. He has been the Member of Parliament for Ilford North since 2015, but due to the Labour Party's reaction to the war in Gaza, he nearly lost his seat to an independent Lian Mohammed in 2024 by 528 votes. I'm only stating this to show you how even his own constituents view him after nearly 9 years as their representative. In comparison to Keir, Wes is charismatic, well-spoken, and polished, with the shine of a used car salesman. This has made him a bit of a media darling, with both mainstream right and left-leaning media fawning over him, and as such, choosing not to report much about his record. And if you know anything about the dark arts of politics, it should signal to you that he is the capital-friendly, new Labour type, very much in the vein of Tony Blair and Keir Starmer. He probably won't be out of place on the Tory benches, although without the Eton education that they seem to think make for great prime ministers. He did, however, go to Cambridge, and that's where most of his early activities can be found as the Student Union president from 2004 to 2005. And how he attained that position was by being a leading fixer. Streeting was also a member of the National Union of Students and served as the head from 2008 till 2010. And during his tenure, he was instrumental in shifting the organization's support for free education to backing paid tuition. And although the NUS secured pledges from prospective MPs from a broad range of the political sphere in Westminster in an effort to stop the significant increase of tuition fees, with Streeting himself being a supporter of a graduate tax as opposed to the tuition fee increase, we all know how that turned out, right? If you are a university student or graduate in England, Northern Ireland, and Wales, looking at the sheer amount of debt you've had to take on just to get an education, for which you can't even get a job in this labour market, then kindly offer your thanks to Mr. Streeting and his lot for this wonderful achievement they have played in your life. More of such blessings will be on his way if this man ever takes the position of Prime Minister. And oh, we are not even done yet. In my own life, it was only by sheer luck that I applied for uni in 2009. I didn't go until 2011 because I had to work and get some savings. But right now, my daughter would be under the same burden. Not so many people get to be that lucky, and I have to make sure that I save just so she can have a better life than I did. I will also add that Mr. Streeting styles himself as a progressive and has stated on record that he believes himself to be a true believer in progressive policies. Well, he does tick a lot of progressive boxes on account of his background, orientation, and his faith, Anglican. But don't let that fool you for 1 minute. Wes Streeting was the pitbull that Peter Mandelson and most of the Labour right used to constantly attack Jeremy Corbyn when he was then the leader of the Labour Party. And while I had my own issues with Jeremy Corbyn's government, such as John McDonnell for Chancellor of the Exchequer, and Corbyn's own insistence on surrounding himself with mostly ideologues in the shadow cabinet, which in all honesty made the Labour Party a prime target for the media, which ended up causing the election tragedy of 2019, I nevertheless think that the self-proclaimed true progressive would be the one wielding the blade to shank with. But I understand, a Bengal tiger can never change its stripe. Just ask Keir how he's feeling right about now. And now, let's take a look at his record on the NHS, which he lambasted Keir with just before resigning from his post. I don't doubt that there have been improvements made to the NHS, because after the poor funding of this critical institution under the Tory government, Labour's inevitable restructuring and renewed funding was always going to lead to marginal improvement as opposed to the wasteland the Tories left us in. After all, humans need windfalls to get rich, but horses only need grass. So make no mistake that I'm in agreement with Rachel Reeves when she says this.
Rachel Reeves does the morning round and says, we've seen good numbers in the NHS because of all the money I'm pumping into it. Implied nothing to do with Wes Streeting.
Now if you will excuse me, I need to take a quick shower before I continue this video. So given the fact that Streeting seems to be drowning in donations from private health firms and mega corporations, I am certain that the rosy future being painted by Wes for his vision of the NHS is as credible as the sale of the Eiffel Tower by Victor Lustig. Honestly, time is of the essence, and I don't like to prattle on when it comes to making a point. But I do hope that I have convinced you enough to remove from your very thoughts the very idea of a Prime Minister Streeting. No matter how many puff pieces are written by him by The Guardian in the name of credible reporting, know that this man is not the change you are looking for. He is essentially Starmer 2.0 without the human rights background to soften him. I am an admirer of the aphorism in Matthew chapter 7 verse 16. By their deeds you shall know them. And a cursory look at Mr. Streeting should tell you that he has more bodies on him than an abattoir. And as things are playing out, he seems to be creeping on Andy Burnham. Maybe Andy should be looking to up his security before it's too late. But I digress.
Go on.
If I take an honest look at the Labour Party, it tends to feel like they are suffering from battered wife syndrome after the beating they suffered at the hands of Reform UK. And to make the pain stop, they seem to think that the solution is to be like the perpetrator, hence the desire to choose someone like Streeting, whom they feel will steady the boat by appealing to the centre and the right wing. But as often with such cases, the simple and direct solution is to call the police and listen to your mum. I would bet anything that given the potential chaos that's about to be unleashed in the party with the leadership challenges, that the party's leadership, and for that matter Starmer, now has regrets about the nearsighted decision to block Andy Burnham from standing as MP in the Gordon and Denton by-election. But as of the 14th of May, there seems to be a path for him, but time will tell. Hindsight, they say, is 2020. But how about Angela Rayner? Well, Rayner had been tainted with the smell of tax avoidance by the media already, and had further been set up to fail by the leadership who have faith in. And while reports of this scandal had been only a mix-up, the damage to her brand has already been done. Rayner is also untested in a leadership capacity, which in the eyes of the party members does not make her an ideal choice. I would say that Rayner would thrive in a party such as the Greens, as her politics clearly aligns with their goals as well. But as it stands, she does not want to quit Labour. Not to mention that the failing Tory party, looking for an easier prey to contrast their shitty record against, will welcome her with smiles. She is effectively a potential sitting duck. Andy Burnham, on the other hand, has been tested in a leadership role, with Greater Manchester clearly standing as testament to his credentials and an indicator of his politics which the Labour Party desperately needs. But the path to have him looks bleak, and there is no man without sin, even if he is. My final note on Wes Streeting is this. If more Starmerism is what you want, if tech companies like Palantir having access to your health records, which trust me will be used against you, is your cup of tea, then by all means, cheer him on and call him Mr. Prime Minister.
Useless.
But I consider myself a deeply private man, the type to watch my porn in a locked wardrobe for the fear that God might see me sin. So I say a big fat no to Mr. Streeting as Prime Minister. This nation deserves much better. Thank you for your time, and as always, till next time, friends.
Nothing gets rid of the stench. Not candles, not chemicals, not together.